Welcome to DU Digimon.
Hello and welcome to DU Digimon and welcome to another deck profile. If you like this sort of content, please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel and ding that notification bell so you're not missing out on any of the latest content. Now, if you were watching our videos last week, you'll know that we did a breakdown of the Hero deck, whether or not it was a bait or busted deck. Do make sure to check out that video if you have not. But this is the deck profile that I said I would do if people were interested in it, and people were interested in it, so here we are, the Hero deck profile. This deck takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of finessing. It's got so many different things that you could include with it, but all of them don't quite mesh together properly if you don't, if you're not kind of like, I don't know, paying attention to what you're doing, I guess. But and there's been a lot of not paying attention on my part. But we've paid attention now. We're finally there. I've got a build that I'm happy with. In fact, have gotten a couple of good wins on DCGO with this. Against stuff like Blue Armor. I managed to beat Blue Armor with this somehow. Did really well against Agumon, though I ultimately did lose against that. And also did some really good work against Safagamon, among others. But this is the list as I've kind of come up with it, fine-tuned for what is a very hard deck to build. But starting with the egg, Gurimon, don't bother with the Gurimon. The Gurimon is okay, but you want to be aggro, you want to be attacking in, so just attack off, get a draw when you attack. That works absolutely fine for me. Then going into the rookies, you'll notice we're playing 16 rookies, so it's quite a lot. But I'll kind of explain as to why. And it's because of our ratios. They're very squiff in this deck. We've got 4 of the Gammamon. This just allows us to warp specifically into Siriusmon if we have got 2 or fewer security cards or 3 or more hero trait tamers cards with different names, and go up into that Siriusmon, just warp into it. And the Agumon does the same thing but into WarGreymon, and it does it if they've got a Digimon with 10,000 DP or more, or if our tamers have 3 or more total colours. So, both of them can be fairly hard to kind of warp into. I tend to find 9 times out of 10 I end up going into the Gammamon more because, ironically, getting 3 different names is a lot easier than 3 different colours. Because, as you'll see, these guys have got the 4 different names here, but we've got 3 different tamers that are red purple and 1 which is red yellow. So if we have the one that's red yellow and one of the ones are red purple, perfect, we can warp into Agumon, no problem. But if we have 2 of the other tamers, that's 2 of the same colours, we can't use that. But the Agumon is still good, gives us the reboot for when we're being on the defensive, and the Gammamon, I forgot to mention, does give us 2000 DP as inheritable. Then going into our other rookies, these guys are in here just as our draw engine. We've got Gammamon, which trashes a card with save in its text or the hero trait from your hand and draws 2. It also saves underneath one of your tamers and gives us 2000 DP. And then the Guilmon does a very similar thing, which is trashing a card with Guilmon, Gammamon, Gammamon, or Gumdramon in its name, or the hero trait from your hand to draw 2, and it has the on deletion gain 1 memory inheritable. So both of them are here just to help us with drawing out. We often hard play these guys, trash something from our hand, and then draw more cards, fill up our hand with more stuff. Then our champions, we're only playing 8 champions because, again, this is a very weird deck in terms of ratios. Obviously, a lot of the time we're skipping levels, so it doesn't really matter that much in terms of our ratios, but we have still got our champions here. We have the Agunimon. Agunimon is insane. He obviously gives us a hybrid, so we can hybrid for game, which is great. When digivolving, you may place 1 hybrid or hero trait Digimon card from your hand or trash as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution card, or enter any of your red tamers with inherited effects. And then when attacking, this Digimon may digivolve into a red hybrid or hero trait Digimon card in hand with the Digivolution cost reduced by 1. So lets you go into things cheaper, has some great synergy actually with Hiro because of the fact you're putting stuff under your sources, and we'll get into why in a bit, and also gives 2000 DP as inheritable as well, so absolutely great. Just bear in mind, he can only digivolve on top of red, he cannot digivolve on top of Agumon. So if you're stuck with an Agunimon in hand and an Agumon in raising and no tamers or something like that, you're going to be in for a bad time. So just bear that in mind. Next is Arresterdramon, who is just as important as Agunimon, but in a very different way. So he can digivolve on top of any of our hero trait rookies, including Agumon, which is perfect. On play when digivolving, you play a tamer card with hunter or hero trait from your hand without paying the cost, and that's irrespective of how many tamers you have out. So if you've got 3 tamers out, don't matter, you can play out a 4th. It's great. On deletion as well, it saves itself, saves something from your trash as well. underneath one of your tamers, so you get like a double save off of that. In terms of verbatim, you may place one Digimon card with a save in its text or the hero trait from your hand or trash under any of your tamers, then save. So really good. Then superior mode. Oh my goodness, superior mode. For a rare, this guy is so good. He's the MVP of the deck. Like, he's got raid, he's got piercing. When you digivolve into him, he attacks without suspending, so you get 2 attacks off with him in a single turn if you manage to keep turn. He has an all turns effect to gain 1000 DP for each of the sources underneath him. So if you manage to make him into a blocker, he's a massive blocker. If you're attacking in with him, he's absolutely massive. You know, he's 10k natively on his own. You know, if you've then got 1000 from say you know, the minimum you would have gone into a level 5. You've got your egg, you've got your rookie, you've got your champion. So that's 3 sources. That's 3k there. Then bearing in mind that most of our inheritables are 2k boosts. So, you know, we can get absolutely humongous with superior mode. He is a pseudo boss monster for this deck. Now, for the true boss monsters, we of course have Siriusmon, who is here to warp into off of Gammamon. He has Security Tap +1 and Raid. Now, bear in mind, he does not have Piercing, unlike Superior Mode, so you're not going to be able to use that Raid in that kind of capacity. But a lot of the times, you don't need to. And the reason for that is he has a non-once per turn when digivolving and when attacking effect. You place one Digimon card with Gammamon in its text or the hero trait from your hand as this Digimon's bottom distribution card, and delete one of your opponent's lowest DP Digimon. So unless they've got a really wide board, you're going to be deleting at least 2 things a turn with this, which is phenomenal. He gets absolutely massive again because of the amount of inheritables he gets. He does the 2 checks. He's great. Really good for that kind of aggro control that the deck is going for. And speaking for that aggro control, we have also got WarGreymon Ace from the structure deck. So he does digivolve on top of a hero trait for 3, which is great. On play when digivolving, until your opponent's turn ends, for every 2 colours your tamers have, their Digimon effects don't affect one of your Digimon. Now, obviously, this does not work as well as it does in Adventure, because of the fact you've only got a couple of, colours here. You could add in the tie to get 1 more colour, so you've got white, but honestly, I just found them 9 times out of 10, tie is worthless. Like, genuinely. He'll be there, you can play out something cool. You know, unless you're playing the Shoutmon stuff, then, you know, you're not going to be rushing. Unless you're playing Gumdramon, you're not going to be rushing with those. So I tended to find he was a bit of a whiff, which is why we fine-tuned our tamers to the numbers that they are, but we'll get into that once we're onto the tamers. But WarGreymon also has the effect of when digivolving and when attacking, again, not once per turn, just like with Siriusmon, you delete one of your opponent's lowest DP Digimon. Now, the one thing to bear in mind is those effects sound really similar on paper, but they're also quite different situationally. So with Siriusmon, because you have to put something underneath you, you almost have a choice. You kind of have a choice with kind of how we are doing it. So, because obviously if you don't put anything underneath, you then don't delete anything. So if you don't want to delete something, you don't have to put anything under there. Whereas with WarGreymon Ace, his effect is mandatory. So he must delete something, or must attempt to delete something. So just bear that in mind, because sometimes that can come to bite you if you're going up against something that's got a lot of on-deletion effects, for example. Next up is our 1 level 7, which is Cross 7 Superior Mode. Obviously, the rest of the Cross Heart stuff is not in this, but I thought I'd keep Cross 7 in here because he's a big boss monster. He does have some really cool effects. He, on play when digivolving, trash the top 10 stacked cards of one of your opponent's Digimon, essentially doing a super D-digivolve. If you get them right down to their egg, they just don't exist anymore. They get Thanos out of existence. And when attacking effect, you may return one of your opponent's Digimon no distribution cards to the bottom of the deck. He's also, as you can see, huge. He's 17k. Which is the biggest native DP of any Digimon, along with the other superior mode. So if it kind of sounds bad to treat him this way, but if he's in security and they hit into him, unless they've given themselves loads of DP boosts, not a lot is surviving that. But honestly, I've also played with versions of this deck that do not use superior mode at all, to instead focus on more utility. For example, we're not playing it right now, but I was trying with Scramble before, because obviously we trash around, so you could take these 2 out to put in some Scrambles, or take them out to put in some more Tamers, whatever you want to do. But he's probably one of the more flexible cards in this. You don't have to run him if you don't want to. Bearing in mind, we get absolutely... superior mode gets bigger than him. Easy. And with the inheritables you've got, these guys can get bigger than him. Obviously, this can then get bigger than those. But... yeah. He's not removing as much as these guys are. If you could maybe say you go into WarGreymon Ace or Siriusmon, use that when Digivolvings, don't attack with them, go into superior mode and then attack, then you'd be pretty cool there. But no, in general, I tend to find that the superior mode is kind of a bit more of a win more kind of card. Also, I don't know if this will come up on the recording, but my recording time is definitely up here in the top left corner for me. I have no idea if it's up there for you guys. Sorry if it is, if it's maybe not that professional, but yeah, I don't know why it's there. It usually isn't. If it is there for you guys, who knows? Anyways, Tamers. Now, the Tamers I've gone for are, in my opinion, the 4 best. And that's kind of mad, because seeming what some of these Tamers can do. We're not playing Takuya, for example, who will Digivolve stuff at the start of main. We're not playing Tai, who plays stuff out for free. We're not playing Davis, because he... Oh no, he does absolutely nothing for this deck, doesn't he? Yeah, little prick. Anyways... these 4 I find are the best. I'm playing them each at 2 copies. We've got 8 Tamers in total. Go with Taiki first, our 1 non-purple one. So start of main, you can place one of your hero traits underneath him to draw 1 and gain 1, which is really nice for your general kind of resource engine. He also gives, when your Digimon are played or Digivolve, if any of them have the cross heart or hero trait by suspending this Tamer, one of them may attack, so it gives a blitz effect essentially. Now obviously if you're playing the cross heart stuff, you'd also have rush and blitz there, but like I said, we're not, because I just found 9 times out of 10 the cross heart stuff wants to be with cross heart stuff because of the inheritable effects. Yes, some of their other effects work with heroes, but they're you know, this Digimon with X trait gets rush, you know, effect, as the inheritable is just for cross hearts, which is a real bother. So he's the only cross heart thing along with superior mode that we are playing. Then Hiro. Hiro might just be my favourite Tamer in this deck, apart from maybe Tagiru. But the reason is because the 2 of them work really well together. So he gives you 1 memory at the start turn, and when effects place Digivolution cards under any of your Digimon with Gammamon in their text or the hero trait, you suspend this Tamer, draw 1, and gain 1. So, you know, that's Siriusmon is doing that, Agunimon is doing that, and then also Tagiru does that for you too. So really just helps you with gaining more resource. Speaking of Tagiru, he does the same start of main as Taiki. So you get your draw 1 and you'll gain 1 by putting a hero trait underneath him. But he has a great your turn effect that when any of your Digimon would Digivolve into a Digimon card with save in its text, or the hero trait will suspend this Tamer and placing 1 card from one of your Tamers as any of their bottom Digivolution cards, reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. Now, interesting thing on DCGO, for whatever reason, I think Tamers are being classed as Digimon currently. So you could use that effect to suspend himself to then reduce his own cost. That's not quite correct. I think that's a bug on DCGO. I'm fairly sure it's in the patch notes. But you know, on actual Digimon, you know, or in actual Digimon, this effect is great in tandem with the hero because you're reducing your cost. You're putting stuff from underneath your Tamers that you've been saving, underneath there, and then which you've got hero board as well. Game 1, draw 1, really good. Then we've got Takato, who is our cheapest Tamer at 3 cost. He gains us a memory at start turn. What he does is he actually gives us blocker. So when any of your Digimon are played, if they've got the hero trait, you give them blocker, and if there are 10 or more total cards in both players' trash, you get 2000 DP as well, just to give you a bit of a boost. So he's really good in tandem with the Agumon and the WarGreymon, so that gives us a really nice big beefy blocker. Also really good with superior mode. Giving that blocker is insane because it will just be like, oh yeah, I'm just casually 14k. What are you gonna do about it, bro? Oh, and now I can also ace into WarGreymon. Ha! Good luck, boy. I don't know what I'm on about. I'm very tired. Then going on to our options, we've got 1 Crimson. Then going on to our options, we've got 1 Crimson Blaze. This is just in here to help us deal with wider boards and boards that are going to, be playing stuff out a lot. I also have tried playing this at 2 as well, but 1 I tend to find is enough. You can always bump up the numbers if you want to. But despite that, we've got a lot of deletion and a lot of control in this deck. Sometimes it's just not enough, so we want that Crimson Blaze just to go bang. There you go, bosh, go away. And then we've got Garnet Memory Boost. Garnet is the only real searcher we can use in this build anyway, because we are, red and black because of the Agumon. So it adds a red or black card. Digimon can't gain 2 memory off of it with the boost. You know, you could try offense training if you were not playing Agumon, for example. Like if you wanted to go for like a fully like we're going aggro raid piercing kind of build, where instead of this Agumon you're playing the other one, and instead of WarGreymon Ace you're playing Greymon. You could give that a go. I have, and it is, you know, it's fairly good in certain situations. I've tended to find this version is the best version of Heroes that I can come up with, though. Obviously, if you want to see more kind of tech options and stuff like that, go and watch that Bait or Busted video. That will go through a lot of the different tech options that you can play in this. You can also play, you know, really just box standard red, you know, stuff like Delicate Plan or Scramble or, you know, all that sort of stuff. Anyways, I hope you guys really like that video. We will have some gameplay of this on the channel at some point. Won't be in this video, unfortunately, just because we're going to do it for another time. But I will make sure there's some gameplay of Hiro, whether it be on DCGO or it is in, say, for example, Jank Tank, as I'm looking to play this potentially in Jank Tank if it's legal. Which, speaking of, our poll is still live currently until Friday, so do make sure you vote in that to have your say on our BT21 tier list. But I hope you guys like this profile, guys. Like and subscribe, ding that notification bell, and I promise gameplay will be coming for this one, trust me. But until next time, keep it digital.